So now we'll get into the actual pruning. What I look for are canes roughly this size and below are what I look for. This would be okay, but for me it's preferable to have something a little skinnier, more or less the size of your ring finger or pinky. Anything that's too big is just what we call a sucker or vegetative growth, and it just takes a lot of power from the vine and doesn't produce a good bunch of fruit. So I try to look for the medium size. Anything the size of your thumb and up is typically what I'll try to eliminate. So looking at this vine, what I try to look for is anything that's as low as possible and inside as possible. These are old, ugly vines, but what you can do is try to, over the years, you can try to correct that and push things back to where you want them, because you always want your growth to come from this section. Right now this is getting a little tall, a little too outside of the wires for me. So today I want to try to leave, we'll try to leave 5 canes on this side, 5 canes on the other side, and then renewal spurs on the inside. And what the renewal spurs will do will help generate extra growth down low. So typically per vine I'll do 5 canes, and then 4 to 6 renewal spurs on down low on the head of the vine. So starting here, I look at this cane. This is a pretty good cane because it's got the spacing between the buds is much smaller, so you get more fruit positions, but it looks like it didn't quite go dormant, didn't go to sleep as well as I would like, and it's also really tall. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out and eliminate it. So now I look at this and I go, okay, which 5 canes do I want? I like this skinny one, and then the others, all the others pretty much look the same. So what I like to do is leave spurs down below, so next year I'll have more growth from down here. So this cane, it's a little big, the spacing between the buds is a little too much, so I'll leave a 2 bud spur down below, and I'll clear this out. This is just old growth here. I'm gonna take it off to clean my vine. Right here, old spur that never grew anything, and an old, or a cane from last year that dried. So I'll just eliminate both of those, clean it up. Same thing here. This cane is just dried and not worth anything. So I'll cut that out. Here's your old spur from last year. This is the renewal I was talking about, where this spur right here was the wood from last year, and it pushed a new cane for me. So now I've got a great cane to use, and it's also down low. So this piece is old and tired. We'll get rid of that. So right now we've got 1 cane, 2 canes, a spur, and now I look here, and what I like to do is leave these guys possibly going this direction, because they're easy to tie if they're already kind of going in the direction of the wire. Something like this, you have to bend them over more, and it takes a little more work, so it's a little more efficient for the crews to come through and lay canes down that are already ready to run down the wires. So I'll look at this. I've got 1 cane, 2 canes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that look pretty good to me. This guy here is a little too tall, so same thing, come in here and eliminate it. So now, as you look at this vine, this whole massive ugly vine is kind of starting, each year I've been pruning this, has been going back, becoming a little more simple. This little cane is coming from this head, which is pretty much pointless, so I'll go ahead and cut that off as well. So during this season, you're going to end up with the Thompson vine that looks much cleaner. The wood is much more controlled, much lower in position. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 canes. So what I'll do is probably leave 1, 2, 3. I'll cut this to a spur. It's not ideal because it's close to this section right here, but that's all you really got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then to space them out, let's say we'll cut this to a spur, and then here's the 5 canes that I'm going to tie. So I will go and clean off the extra brush, clean off all the tendrils that are attached to the wire, clean all these little pieces off. This guy is ready to go. This guy, cut him to about, ideally you cut them, it depends on your trellis where you cut them. I typically cut them right up here, which leaves about, I think, 15 buds on the cane. And so you cut them to length, and this guy right here, say we'll cut him about that long, and this guy here. Okay, and so here's your fruiting wire. This is from the other vine. I'll just get that out of our way. Now when the crew comes through and prunes the whole thing, what they'll do is come in here to tie. So here's all your fruiting wood that you would prune to, and you get these and try to spread it evenly across the wire. And so they'll come through and they'll wrap these this direction. This one will come this direction. And they'll use little twist ties to secure it to the wire. And then all these 3 will all be tied to this wire. So ideally in a perfect vineyard, you've got your entire fruiting wire covered with new canes that you pruned with. So it looks a little sloppy here because the other ones aren't pruned. And as you lay your canes down, you'll have all your fruiting wood here, all your new bunches will be hanging here in this section, and then next year you'll come back and these are the canes that you'll center. You'll come back, cut these off, and all your new growth here will be laid onto the wires. So that's pretty much it. This is an old ugly Thompson block, but after you prune it, it starts to look a little better, and takes a little bit of work, but